This PC is perfect for gaming. I stream on Twitch and normally play on PS4 but wanted to start doing both. It's pretty much plug and play minus a few customizations. Once Win 10 starts you have to check that everything is plugged in inside. For those who gave it less than 4 stars, the PC is shipped and some things may come loose. That's common sense. I opened it and checked all the wires, the fan and RAM, then plugged it in. There's protective plastic inside so you have to open it anyway. The top front light wasn't on when I plugged it in so I traced the wire back. It had fallen off. I plugged it in and it works. No bloatware, just regular Win 10 programs that can easily be removed in settings, apps or in PowerShell. The only thing I found to be negative, which is more weird, was the instructions said it came with an RGB remote control but there wasn't. I checked with customer care and they said they no longer have remotes. Just download the software. This is no big deal but I'd suggest not including that paper with the shipment. Other than that it's fine. I've had it since last Sunday and ran a nice high quality stream. On the first startup, 2 of the fan RGB lights did not work. Plugs in the back panel came loose, and the memory failed twice. You would assume if you paid $1,000 for a product it would function correctly. Packaging was amazing. The controller for the RGB was not included. It stated that it would. The tempered glass looks nice. The tower is much smaller than I expected and does not fit a full-size motherboard. I changed out the motherboard on day 1 as it did not support the sleeve for my 2 MSI video cards. The power supply was weak and could not support the video cards either, so I also replaced that right away. Cord management is a hassle as the case is small. At this point I have replaced more than what came in the box. When I switched motherboards, Windows required an activation code not included, and the support offered in the purchase was absolutely non-existent. They text you in a chat box that is clearly a non-English speaking robot. They stated they would call me on a specific date and that never happened. Overall, I will not buy another pre-built computer. Absolutely disappointed.
Received the PC about 1 HR ago, was very well packaged, and strip-foamed to lock the PC in place in the iBUYPOWER box. Nothing was unplugged in the case, as I checked all loose parts prior to booting it up, so I wonder why all these other customers are complaining about this. Maybe they got the renewed or open box versions, so let's get into it. The PC packs a good punch for the mid-range. After digging into the machine, I noticed a few things that could be upgraded. So is the third image. It's a generic 500W bronze certified SU. Not the best since you will not be able to run 2 graphics cards tested and wouldn't recognize. Tried to add my older 1070, maybe bump it up a few notches and get 850W of gold certified. TBH, if you don't plan on doing a lot of power consuming stuff on it, overclock, mining, etc., you won't need to upgrade it. It's definitely catered for the machine as stock. Next is the storage. No one wants an HDD anymore. Slow and archaic. The SSD is only 240GB, so you don't have much space, and you definitely don't want to run your games off the HDD. As you can see in the first 2 images, you can add another SSD next to the one mounted, and underneath the shell, you can see the HDD that's mounted to the case and can be unscrewed from underneath to replace the HDD, so you do get some space to add storage/replace. Again, I'm not sure why reviews state that it doesn't have this. Lastly, the CPU cooler/radiator is low-key a slap to the face. It should run fine. I haven't stress tested temps, but this is one step above the stock Intel CPU fans, and that's not very good. Maybe get a Noctua or something. You can put in a copper radiator as it does have about 4 to 5 inches of more space on top of the CPU position. However, the 4-in-case fans that channel the airflow out the rear might make up for it. Overall, I give it a 5/5. While the price is comparable to a DI self-built PC with possibly a bit better specs, for a pre-built no hassle/plug and play, no bloatware device, and visually appealing is good for the money.
I knew what I was buying. I don't game too heavily, so it runs what games I do play insanely well. Haven't tried anything too taxing on it yet. It came in fine, minus the shitty Prime driver who dropped it off at another apartment's back door. Thank God I saw him dropping it off and knew it was mine. Awkward as hell getting it though. I live on the 2nd floor. He just dropped it off at the corner unit's back door for his own convenience. The backlight does doesn't lie up, but all the front ones work and that fine with me. Wasn't too excited that the whole front had a glass panel as well. Was thinking of installing an optical drive, but now I will need to just get a USB plug-in one. But again, overall, came in great condition, and hits all my major check marks. For the money, it gets the job done.
Very nice PC for the money, fast processor and excellent NVIDIA graphics card, very quiet fan operation, plenty of fast USB 3 ports, front and back. Cool looks. Mine came with Windows 10 pre-installed and fully functional, but no Windows 10 activation code, so at first it seems that Windows 10 cannot be activated properly on this machine. I noticed that there is no Windows 10 documentation anywhere in the paperwork that came with my PC. When we go to the Microsoft website to register it, it says the PC's serial number is not registered for Windows 10, and they send you to a site to pay for a Windows 10 home license. Also, a watermark is seen on the lower right corner of your screen telling you your Windows 10 is not activated. Lack of Windows activation has given me problems in getting Office 365 to work, since the machine is currently unlicensed according to Microsoft. The Amazon description claims it comes with Windows 10 Home, which is only partially true due to the above situation. In fact, it may be an unlicensed copy. Might have to buy that license at some point. Edit found the Windows 10 product key by opening PowerShell and typing this command: WMIC path softwareless sensing service get authorize original product key, and then pasting the long product key. Make sure you write it down for future reference. Into the PC settings, update activation window. All is good now. Edit to I am looking for a memory upgrade. Right now it comes with 8 plus 8 equals 16 gigabytes of DDR4 2666 MHz to 88-pin RAM. I plan to use 2 sticks of 32 gigabytes RAM for a total of 64 gigabytes. The memory I am looking at is Crucial Ballistics 3200 MHz DDR4 RAM desktop gaming memory kit to 88-pin, 64 gigabytes 32GB X2, CL16BL2K32G 32C16U4R Red, or https://www.amazon.com/gp/product/d083trrt1n/ref equals ox_ft_act_title_1/smid-atvpdkikx0 $PSC equals 103. That should work straight out of the box. My 10-year-old loves this CPU almost as much as I do. It runs Fortnite on the highest settings while simultaneously running a screen capture program with green screen so he can make YouTube videos with his live gameplay that is floating in the corner of the screen. It came quickly and with a free keyboard, mouse, Wi-Fi antenna and a $10 Amazon GC coupon code. My close friend who owns his own graphic design company bought his last professional model CPU tower from this exact same company. His was the nicest model they sold at the time, about 4 times more expensive than this one. However, he informed me that this company iBUYPOWER makes professional equipment and does a fantastic job at doing so. It's not some guy assembling random components in his basement. It's a real company who does it full time. I love it so far and it outperforms anything we have thrown at it so far. Also, lots of reviews claim the HDMI video out does not send video signal to the monitor. Do not use the HDMI port on the video card itself. I believe that port is for VR hookups. There's a second HDMI port lower on the chassis closer to the power supply and power cable. That is your video output to your monitor. Just made that mistake myself while moving the CPU to clean the room. Took a minute to realize what I'd done wrong. So far so good. Setting up the PC is a breeze. What some of the other reviews have said, it's easy to knock off the LED leads for the RGB case fence so they are still running but without their rainbow color, which you can just reconnect the RGB cords to the RGB controller so you don't need to send it back. Claiming the LED lights went out. You would normally build my own, but being out of the game for 5 years, there's a lot to catch up. Plus my eyes aren't as sharp as they used to be, so I find it a hassle to work those small power plus slash leads from the case to the motherboard. Would rather get a prefab system and then just swap out the parts that I need to, like the power supply, RAM, SSD and CPU cooler. This case looks like it will be much less trapped heat than my previous case, and have been debating whether or not I would need to replace the 120mm RGB case fans with faster fans like ones that can go up to 1800 RPM. My previous case had 120mm 1800 RPM fans running at maximum RPMs all the time, so it sounded like we were in a server room. I bought the iBUYPOWER gaming PC PC computer desktop element 9260 Intel Core i7-9700F30GHz NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 T6GB 16GB DDR4 240GB SSD 1TB HDD Wi-Fi ampersand Windows 10 Home Black from Amazon in July 2020. I researched my reviews and was impressed by the unboxing/setup video posted in the sales listing page. The only negative thing I can say is that my shipment did not have the foam/plastic insert meant to protect the inside components from movement/damage. Needless to say, I was a bit concerned. Even though the rest of the shipment was in A++ condition and cautiously packed, I've used the PC for about a month, and all I can say is wow, I am impressed. I have always built my own PCs when upgrading part by part, but I'm glad I finally bit the bullet and sprung for the complete package. Incredibly fast and practically silent. I almost think it's not even turned on. This beast has exceeded my expectations. I couldn't be happier at this point. I also bought the Acerine 3-year desktop computer protection plan with tech support just in case I do have an issue/accident. Highly recommended.
I purchased the iBUYPOWER Element 9260 PC from Amazon and this is a great powerful gaming computer. It is not only good for gaming, it is fast to boot up and you can be logged in working within seconds. I have the Core i7-9700F, which came with the GTX 1660 T6GB graphics card and 16GB of memory. You have everything you need with a 240GB SSD and a 1TB hard drive to install your games and store pictures and videos for years to come. The computer shipped on the 6th and was delivered the morning of the 9th without any issues. The system was easy to set up. I only had a problem with the Windows activation, stating Windows was not activated. I clicked on the troubleshooting in the Windows activation area screen and the system resolved it for me. The Windows key is located in the motherboard somewhere, so I guess it found it and activated it. If you're looking for an inexpensive, powerful pre-built gaming PC, this is it. I ordered this desktop computer because of the deal Amazon was running for $999.99. I ordered this PC just this past Monday 5/18/20, and it arrived on Thursday. If it's sent through Amazon and not a third party, then the shipping is fast. I was very pleased to receive this computer. When it arrived, I was somewhat disappointed. I noticed first this white disc. Turns out it's a Wi-Fi cable and it's really cheap. It's not the antenna that screws in, and the graphics card is the small one fan version. It's not the one in the pic which has two fans. It is the 1060T but not what's on the pic. Finally I got scared cause I realized the computer came with no foam stuffed in the inside. I thought I got tricked and this was used cause I ordered it new, but the great news is I went through everything and everything was plugged in correctly and the computer came on just fine. There were no issues and I was even able to upload my BIOS files to the graphics card. I am now currently downloading Modern Warfare to the hard drive as we speak. The computer runs great and it's worth every penny because you can't find anything like this for a lesser price. I'm going to try to replace the antenna with customer service, but I am not worried about the graphics card because it does the same thing for now. I plan on upgrading later anyway to a 2060 Super or something. This is a great value. However, you are taking a chance with something being not original. You really have to be careful, but if you're one of the lucky ones, the minor stuff won't bother you unless you want the exact thing you see. Mine works perfectly fine. There's no scratches or dents. If you can afford it, I would advise building your own through the website or making a cheaper version that's just as good if you really know how to do it. Your best bet is to go through Amazon and not some third party you can't get a hold of. The only reason I gave this 3 stars is because the parts was not the same as I felt in 2 areas, plus it was wrapped correctly on the inside at all with any foam to protect the graphics card. Other than that, everything still checks out. For such a discount I can't complain for a new computer.